Today, we're going to discuss a topic that, unfortunately, is a part of many people's lives: manipulation. This phenomenon, a form of negative social influence, involves subtle or overt tactics aimed at controlling or taking advantage of others. Manipulation can occur in various areas, such as the workplace, personal relationships, or even within large social groups. Understanding these tactics is essential to maintaining autonomy and promoting healthier, more transparent relationships. Knowing how to protect yourself is crucial, and today we'll explore 9 of the most powerful manipulation techniques. But before we continue, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any important content like this. Now, let's get straight to the point. All knowledge is neutral, and its use depends on who applies it. Knowledge can be used to build something positive or to cause harm, much like a hammer that can either create or destroy. Therefore, it's important that what you learn here is used responsibly, whether for self-defense or personal growth. Today, we'll dive into manipulation tactics that often infiltrate our lives without us even realizing it. Our goal is to demystify them so that you can recognize them and equip yourself with the tools to combat them. By the end of this journey, you'll be better prepared to face these situations with a critical eye and a focused mind. Get ready to explore the depths of human psychology and the tricks of manipulation. The first tactic we'll cover is emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is a form of manipulation where emotions are used as a threat to get what someone wants. It can be subtle, but it's incredibly destructive. People who use emotional blackmail often create feelings of guilt or obligation, causing the manipulated person to give in, even against their will. Think, for instance, of a friend who constantly asks for favors but disappears when you need help, or a partner who threatens to end the relationship whenever things don't go their way. Recognizing emotional blackmail is the first step toward protecting yourself. Set clear boundaries and stand by your decisions. Talking to trusted friends or seeking professional support can also help you handle these situations better. From a Stoic perspective, emotional blackmail challenges our ability to stay calm and control our actions and reactions. The Stoics teach us that we cannot control external events, only how we respond to them. Facing emotional blackmail requires practicing inner peace and rational acceptance of what's beyond our control. Philosophers like Epictetus believe that we shouldn't worry about things we can't change. Applying this philosophy to emotional blackmail helps us realize that while we can't control the manipulator's actions, we can control our response. This response should be guided by reason and grounded in our values. Additionally, the Stoics emphasize virtue, guiding us to act rightly. Even under external pressure, emotional blackmail can be difficult, but with awareness and support, you can overcome these situations. Keep your relationships healthier by balancing your needs with those of others. Another example of manipulation is gaslighting, a psychological distortion tactic that makes someone doubt their own perceptions, memories, or even sanity. This type of manipulation, which can occur in both personal relationships and work environments, can have serious effects. A manipulator might deny events or distort reality, causing the victim to question their own memory. Identifying gaslighting can be challenging, but some warning signs include feeling constantly confused and doubting your own memory. To protect yourself, keep records of events and conversations, and seek support from trusted people or professionals. From a Stoic standpoint, dealing with gaslighting involves building emotional self-sufficiency and trusting your perceptions. The Stoics believe we should focus on what is within our control, our actions and responses. So, it's important to maintain clear thinking and confidence, even when others try to manipulate us. The practice of reflection and rational self-sufficiency can be a powerful tool against gaslighting. Keeping a journal, for example, helps to document events and strengthen personal awareness. Additionally, community support is important, and the Stoics highlight the value of having a strong support network. These are some of the most intense manipulation tactics that can affect our lives. By recognizing them and understanding how to respond, you'll be better prepared to protect your autonomy and build healthier, more balanced relationships. That we're diving into a subject that, unfortunately, affects many: manipulation. This negative influence can manifest in subtle or obvious ways, aiming to control or take advantage of others. Manipulation happens in various contexts, whether at work, in personal relationships, or even among larger social groups. Understanding these tactics is crucial to maintaining our autonomy and ensuring more balanced and transparent relationships. Knowing about manipulation is the first step to protecting yourself. We're going to cover some of the most impactful tactics today. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss relevant content like this. Now, without further delay, let's get to the point. Knowledge itself is neutral, and its value depends on how it's used. Like a tool, it can be used for good or to cause harm. Therefore, it's crucial to use the information from this video responsibly, whether to protect yourself or for personal development. We'll break down some of the most prevalent manipulation tactics that often go unnoticed. Our goal is to help you identify them and arm yourself with the resources to combat them. By the end of this discussion, you'll be better equipped to handle these situations, with a sharper perspective and a more alert mind. Let's start by discussing emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is a form of manipulation where emotions are used as leverage. Although it may seem harmless in some cases, this tactic can be devastating. The manipulator creates a sense of obligation or guilt, leading the other person to give in, even against their will. Examples include a friend who always asks for help but never reciprocates, or a partner who threatens to end the relationship whenever things don't go their way. To defend yourself against emotional blackmail, it's important to recognize the signs. Set clear boundaries and stick to your decisions. Talking to trusted friends or seeking professional help can also be beneficial for understanding the situation and learning how to manage it. From the Stoic perspective, emotional blackmail challenges our ability to remain calm and in control of our reactions. Stoic philosophy teaches that while we cannot control what others do, we can control how we respond. Facing emotional blackmail requires practicing inner tranquility and accepting what is beyond our control. According to Epictetus, we should focus on what is within our reach. Applying this logic to emotional blackmail, we see that although we cannot control the behavior of someone trying to manipulate us, we can control our response. This response should be driven by reason and guided by our values. Practicing virtue, a key principle in Stoicism, helps us act correctly, regardless of external pressures. Emotional blackmail can be tough, but with awareness and support, it's possible to navigate these situations. Keep your relationships healthier by finding a balance between your needs and those of others. Dealing with emotional blackmail can be challenging, but with awareness and support, it's possible to overcome it. It's crucial to find a balance between your own needs and those of others while maintaining healthier relationships. Another form of manipulation is gaslighting. This psychological distortion technique makes someone doubt their own perceptions, memories, or even sanity. Gaslighting is a form of mental abuse that can cause serious harm and can occur in both personal relationships and the workplace. Manipulators often deny reality or distort facts, leading the victim to question their own memories. Identifying gaslighting can be difficult since it's a subtle form of manipulation. Some signs include constant confusion and frequent doubts about your own perceptions. To protect yourself, it's important to keep records of events and conversations, and seek support from trusted people or professionals. From a Stoic perspective, dealing with gaslighting requires strengthening emotional self-sufficiency and trusting in your own perceptions. The Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can control, our reactions and judgments. Therefore, when facing gaslighting, it's necessary to maintain clarity of thought and confidence in your experience. The practice of constant reflection and rational self-sufficiency are powerful tools for dealing with gaslighting. Keeping a journal can be helpful not only to record facts but also as a way of self-examination and reinforcing personal awareness. Community support is also crucial, as the Stoics highlight the importance of having a strong support network. In addition to these tactics, it's essential to address logical fallacies as well. These are reasoning errors that lead to false or misleading conclusions. Identifying these fallacies is important not only to avoid manipulation but also to improve critical thinking. Stoicism teaches us to question arguments and seek evidence before accepting an idea as true. Some common fallacies include the appeal to authority, where something is considered true simply because an authority figure said it, and the false dichotomy, which presents a situation as having only two opposing options, ignoring alternatives. Another frequent fallacy is the straw man, where an argument is distorted or oversimplified to make it easier to attack. Applying Stoic analysis helps us carefully examine arguments, always searching for the truth and avoiding rushed conclusions. These are some of the manipulation tactics and logical fallacies we may encounter in everyday life. Stoicism provides powerful tools to handle these challenges, encouraging us to seek wisdom and act with integrity in the face of adversity. The Stoics encourage us to develop detachment from external desires and instead focus on cultivating internal virtues such as wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. While Stoic principles help us resist manipulative tactics like false social approval, we must also remember that we are social beings. Therefore, as we seek virtue and wisdom, we should also cultivate genuine and meaningful relationships based on mutual respect and authenticity rather than a quest for external validation. In summary, when dealing with false social approval, Stoicism teaches us to focus on virtues and authenticity. We should critically reflect, seek reliable sources of information, and build genuine relationships, thereby strengthening a fuller life protected from external manipulation. Point 1. Gaslighting is an extremely subtle and destructive psychological manipulation technique. It involves making the person doubt their own perception, memory, or even sanity. The manipulator denies facts or systematically distorts reality, causing the victim to question their own experiences. This tactic is often used in abusive relationships and can also occur in work environments. To combat gaslighting, it's important to keep records of events and interactions and seek support from trusted individuals. From a Stoic perspective, we should strengthen our emotional self-sufficiency and trust in our own perceptions, focusing on what is within our control. Maintaining mental clarity and developing internal confidence are essential tools to confront this manipulation. Point 2. False dichotomy. A false dichotomy is a tactic where the manipulator presents a situation as if there are only two extreme and opposite options, ignoring other possible alternatives. This type of manipulation can force someone to make decisions based on limited choices when, in reality, there are more nuances and possibilities to consider. From a Stoic point of view, we should question the options presented and always seek to see beyond extremes. The Stoics value rational analysis and the exploration of all possibilities before making decisions. Reflecting carefully on the options helps us avoid falling into the trap of a false dichotomy. Point 3. Appeal to emotion. An appeal to emotion is a manipulation technique where the manipulator seeks to influence someone's decisions by provoking emotions such as fear, guilt, compassion, or anger, rather than using logical and rational arguments. A common example is when someone exaggerates the emotional impact of a situation to get what they want, distracting from the logic. To avoid falling into this trap, the Stoics recommend cultivating emotional control and not making decisions based on impulses. It's essential to ask ourselves if we're being swayed by a temporary emotion or if the decision is truly rational and appropriate. The Stoics believe reason should guide our actions, not fleeting emotions. Point 4. Appeal to authority. This manipulation tactic occurs when something is presented as true simply because a figure of authority or a respected institution said it. The manipulator tries to impose an idea without offering solid arguments or evidence, relying solely on the authority's reputation. From a Stoic perspective, it's vital to question everything, even if it comes from a respected authority. Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus taught that we should always examine the logic and validity of an idea on our own and not accept it blindly. Critical reflection is a powerful defense against this type of manipulation. These four manipulation techniques are common in everyday life, and knowing them helps us protect ourselves and make more conscious decisions. By learning to identify these strategies, we can respond rationally, preserving our integrity and autonomy. To continue learning and deepening your understanding of these techniques, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. In upcoming videos, we'll bring you more tools to help you live with more clarity and discernment. Don't miss this journey towards self-awareness and protection against external influences. 5. Withholding information. Withholding information is a common manipulation technique where important details are omitted, undermining the person's ability to make well-informed decisions. This practice is found in various contexts, such as when a seller doesn't disclose hidden costs in a contract or when someone conceals significant facts about their past in a relationship. This kind of manipulation distorts our perception of reality and negatively influences our choices. From a Stoic perspective, withholding information is an obstacle to acting with wisdom and integrity. Stoicism, with its focus on the pursuit of truth and independent judgment, offers useful guidance for dealing with such situations. To protect ourselves, it's essential to take an active approach, asking questions, seeking clarity, and checking the details. When signing contracts or making agreements, it's important to read the fine print and not hesitate to ask for more information. Additionally, we should promote an environment where honesty and transparency are valued. In Stoicism, the focus is on what we can control. While we can't prevent others from withholding information, we do have the power to seek, interpret, and question the information we receive. True wisdom, according to the Stoics, comes from deep understanding, not blind acceptance. Moreover, the Stoics recognize that we won't always have all the necessary information to make a perfect decision. In such cases, they teach us to accept uncertainty and adapt with serenity, maintaining peace of mind even in the face of frustration. Finally, although withholding information can be a powerful tactic, we shouldn't let it cause constant fear or distrust. Stoicism guides us to balance caution with confidence, understanding that while fear is a natural emotion, it shouldn't be used against us. In short, Stoicism leads us toward a rational and balanced approach to handling withheld information. 6. Fear-based manipulation. Fear-based manipulation exploits people's insecurities to influence their decisions. Instead of presenting logical arguments, fear is used as a tool of control. For example, a salesperson might emphasize rising crime rates to sell an expensive security system, even if the actual risk is minimal. From a Stoic perspective, overcoming fear involves self-awareness and emotional control. Stoicism teaches us to recognize when fear is being used to influence our choices and to seek solid evidence before taking action. Philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus argued that by understanding the nature of our fears, we can lessen their hold over us. This doesn't mean denying fear but rather acknowledging it and responding in a rational way. Stoicism also encourages us to differentiate between what is and isn't within our control. Often, the situations that generate fear are beyond our reach, but how we react to them is within our power. By focusing on what we can control, we make more measured and rational decisions. Stoics value the practice of courage. Facing fear is an opportunity to exercise this virtue, dealing with challenges and uncertainties with bravery and calmness. Creating an environment where transparency and honesty prevail also protects us from tactics that exploit our fears. 7. The blame game. The blame game is a manipulative technique where the manipulator deflects responsibility for their actions by blaming others. This tactic is used to avoid personal accountability or to distract from their own failures. For instance, a leader who misses a deadline might blame the team for not working hard enough, when the real issue is poor leadership. Stoicism teaches us to handle the blame game by focusing on what we can control, our actions and reactions. Philosophers like Epictetus remind us to focus on our own integrity and virtue instead of worrying about others' opinions. When facing this type of manipulation, it's important to stay rational and avoid reacting emotionally or out of guilt. Instead of responding defensively, we should objectively analyze the facts. Stoics also emphasize personal responsibility, encouraging us to accept our mistakes and work to improve, rather than shifting the blame to others. Finally, Stoicism reminds us that while we can't control others' accusations, we have complete control over how we respond to them. Maintaining our integrity and living according to our values protects us from the blame game and other forms of manipulation. 8. False praise. False praise is a form of manipulation that uses flattery to influence someone, often followed by a request or favor. These compliments may be forced or exaggerated, leading the person to a false sense of competence or a dependency on external validation. From a Stoic standpoint, it's essential to develop self-awareness and evaluate your worth independently of external praise. Stoicism teaches us to trust our own judgment and to value authenticity. The Stoics advise caution when receiving unexpected compliments, especially when followed by requests. Practicing daily reflection helps us maintain a realistic perspective on our accomplishments. This way, we avoid falling into the trap of seeking external validation and instead focus on our own moral development and virtues. Point 9. Playing the victim. Playing the victim is a manipulative tactic where a person presents themselves as a victim to gain sympathy, avoid responsibility, or secure advantages. This behavior is effective because many people have a natural tendency to help those who appear to be in distress. In conclusion, manipulation tactics are more present in our everyday lives than we might realize, but Stoicism provides a solid foundation for recognizing and confronting these traps with wisdom and self-control. By focusing on what's within our control, our actions, thoughts, and emotions, we can protect ourselves from negative influences and cultivate a more balanced and authentic life. Practicing critical reflection, independence from external validation, and the pursuit of truth are our best defenses against manipulation. For those who want to dive deeper into studying these tactics, I recommend researching reliable sources like academic articles on Google Scholar, specialized journals like Psychology Today, and even classic works of Stoic philosophy, such as the writings of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. Additionally, you can explore renowned books on social and behavioral psychology, such as Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, which reveals several forms of psychological manipulation. Other valuable resources include educational videos from psychologists and behavior specialists on YouTube, as well as podcasts discussing persuasion and manipulation strategies, like Hidden Brain and Freakonomics Radio. If you enjoyed this content and want to keep learning how to identify and protect yourself against these tactics, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. In our upcoming videos, we'll bring you more valuable strategies and in-depth analysis to help you live more consciously and make clearer decisions. Don't miss it.